So the newest episode of South Park just dropped and it's all about LABUBU. And I gotta say it was pretty hilarious. It isn't the first time that South Park's done this. Of course they did with Pokemon back in the day. And now this time they're doing it about LABUBUs. The episode's called Wok is Dead, which is basically a reference to Woke is Dead, of course. So today I'm going to spend this time explaining everything that happened in the episode, things you may have missed, and on top of that give you my general opinion of the episode. And quickly, if you like this video, please drop a comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. And without further ado, let's jump into the video. So the episode starts off like most do, at the lockers in the school as we see two girls talking about their new LABUBUs. Now Carmen sees this from a mile away and seems really excited as he runs to the boys trying to get them to come see as if something's about to happen. Now as all the boys start to watch, we actually see the conversation start to take a turn as one tries to imply that the other girl's LABUBU is a knockoff. This then escalates into a huge fist fight as we see the two punching the shit out of each other until PC Principal breaks them up. Now we come to the next scene as we see PC Principal send them to the counselor's office, and the counselor is none other than Jesus, which I gotta say is insane. But of course Jesus knows nothing about LABUBUs and thinks the girls are talking gibberish as they mutter away saying that Mr. Mackey was a way better counselor. Now this seems to have an actual effect on Jesus, which is pretty interesting to see that he cares this much. Now from here we come to the next scene, which is basically Buzz and his friends playing in the playground as we see the girl Red approach him. Now in this scene it's quite clear that Red has a huge crush on Butters as she basically asks him out to come to her birthday party. And of course Butters being Butters, he's completely down because it's Butters. Now of course Red's ecstatic about this and she sends the details to Buzz, but at the end says that Buzz wants to get her a birthday present, she'll send her wish list. And this is where the premise of the episode comes in. Butters needs to find a super rare LABUBU for Red's party so he can basically become her boyfriend. Now the first place we see Butters go to is the Chinese restaurant City Wok, which is now a pop mart basically. Now from here we see Butters run straight in as he asks Luke Kim if he has any LABUBUs. Now Luke Kim explains to Buzz that the only way that he can get the LABUBU that he's looking for is through a mystery box, which is going to be $85. Now of course this makes no sense and Buzz is like, why would it cost that much? But then Luke Kim explains it's because of the tariffs. You know, Trump's tariffs, because they're there, he can't take the price, the consumer must. Now of course because Butters, he's gonna pay the money, opens the box, and then it's not the LABUBU he needs, so then Luke Kim says another $85 if you want to try again. Now from here we actually cut down to a Fox News broadcast as they're filming the president getting off the plane with Satan. Now Trump stands in front of the podium giving a press conference where everyone's asking the same thing. Is he boning Satan? Now of course Trump and Satan are denying this, saying that's not true, but the Fox broadcast keep pressing him until they run away, all of them saying in the end, yeah, of course he's boning Satan. Now from here we actually cut back to the faculty room. This time Jesus is now asking the rest of the teachers, what's a LABUBU? Now teachers basically explain that LABUBUs are a fad toy that got popular through the use of mystery boxes and a false sense of scarcity, and then after this use things like TikTok unboxings to send it to a whole new level. Now this then leads the teachers to watch one of their own students' TikToks doing an unboxing where it basically shows it as a demonic ritual. And I mean literally a ritual. You see them unbox it, go insane, draw the circle, and then do a demonic ritual with a chicken. And of course, just like me and you, Jesus is like, this is insane, but the rest of the teachers are so nonchalant, they're like, yeah, it's demonic, didn't you know? Now after this, we cut straight into the next scene. Butters has returned to City Wok with his piggy bank, holding $88 saying, I need another LABUBU. Now this time, Luke Kim's like, no, $120, the tariffs have went up, and then Luke Kim's wife is calling him out on his bullshit. He's like, you're lying, why are you trying to harass kids? This whole thing with Mr. Kim, where it's basically both a tariff call out and a scalper call out, is kind of funny. It's a good callback. Now you see Luke Kim has a solution for Buddies. He says you don't have $120, then play the claw machine and try and win a LABUBU. And of course Butters says okay as he sends $1 in every time as the claw machine rips him off. Now from here we actually cut back to Jesus in the counselor's office as he's trying to convince the mothers to take the LABUBUs away because they're demonic. Now the parents dig into Jesus. They explain to him that they can't take the LABUBUs because TikTok convinces them that they need them, and they can't take away TikTok because everyone uses it. And I mean they rip into Jesus. They call him a bad counselor. They walk out, say he's a mess, yada yada yada. Now this scene's pretty interesting because it kind of gives you an idea of why keeping kids away from harm on the internet is so much harder today than it was back then. Back in the day people didn't have computers. Now computers are in their homes, so the harm is right there in their own bedroom. Now jumping into the next scene, it's actually a Fox News broadcast as they're having a whole debate on whether or not Trump is boning Satan. And I mean this scene is insane. They even have a body language expert come in to explain body language things that would point to the idea of Trump boning Satan. And of course Fox News is ecstatic at the idea that Trump is boning Satan because that's the best president thing ever. Now after this we actually cut to a really funny scene between Satan and JD Vance as they're having a heart-to-heart on the White House courtyard. Satan's explaining how he's so sad and they wanted to leave months ago, and JD's asking him, well, why don't you then? You can do this, you can leave. But then we see Satan pull out a demonic case and says, this is what bounds me. Now when I was watching this, I thought this was a LABUBU. I thought he was going to be cursed by a LABUBU, but is he? Now jumping into the next scene, we actually see Luke Kim having an argument with Jesus over whether or not LABUBUs are demonic and whether they should throw them away. And then we hear the scream of joy. Butters did it. He found the LABUBU he needed out of the vending machine and he runs off right before Jesus can stop him. And this brings us right into the next scene, which is of course Red's party. Butters has turned up with the gift and Red is ecstatic. She's now jumping for joy as she grabs Butters and says, "We're gonna go do it," and then walks upstairs. Now, of course, this is not what you think, not even close, but Butters is thinking the exact same thing. Now, it turns out if it wasn't extremely obvious, she's doing a demonic ritual and Butters is filming it. She's getting the chicken, she's drawing the line, everyone's coming in and they're doing LABUBU, LABUBU as they're chanting for a demon. Now, from here, we literally see the skies of South Park go red as a fire demon appears, which becomes none other than Donald Trump. Oh, and Satan in the background if you didn't notice. Now, from here, we see all the kids running out of the house as Donald Trump and Satan enter onto the front porch, and then who's there? None other than Jesus. Now, here it comes, legendary battle, Jesus versus Satan, as all the Fox News vans turn up to film it all. We see Jesus telling Satan to leave this world, but then Satan reveals it all. He explains to everyone why he can't leave. It turns out the big thing that's in the box is a pregnancy test. Yes, Satan is pregnant with Trump's baby. Now, this causes literally everyone to be shocked. Even the Fox News hosts are lost for words, but then they start crying and cheering. We literally see Kid Rock crying of joy that Trump is going to have Satan's baby. I gotta say, this is probably one of the most insane things I've seen South Park do with Donald Trump this year. And that's basically how that scene ends. We see Donald and Satan run away, and then we see it cut back to the school, now Jesus as a counselor. Now, Jesus is basically doing a safe ritual and safe sex seminar for Butters and Red, which is insane. They get 2 weeks of detention, and as Butters is leaving, he's saying how horrible Jesus is as a counselor, and then Red interjects and says, well, he's still better than Mr. Mackey, which leaves a giant smile on Jesus' face. And in conclusion, that's basically how the episode ends. This is a really good episode in my eyes, and a good breakaway from the over-politicalness, which is insane because the episode literally has Donald and Satan getting pregnant. I'm glad to see that South Park is capable of making this type of disconnected episode while still following the general theme of the season, which is anti-Trump. I'm also a really big fan of how this is continuing the theme of different characters are the main characters of each episode. Like, for example, Clyde and Mr. Mackey, Tally and Randy, and now Butters and Jesus. I also wanted to point out, if you didn't know, Chin Pokemon actually make an appearance in City Walk in the first scene with Butters. Now, overall, an amazing episode. I'm kind of splitting it though. You could say it's the best episode of the season, you could say it's the worst. It's one of those things where it's very give and take. But yeah, that's my general opinion on the episode. I hope you did enjoy this video. Leave a like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments below what your thought about the newest episode of South Park. If you made it to the end of this video, please comment the word Butters to let me know. I hope everyone did enjoy this video. Please leave a like, please subscribe, and I will see you all at the next one. Have a great one, guys, and good night.